UK to start processing. Syrian asylum claims again. What you need to know. For more than 7 months, the lives of over 7,000 Syrian asylum seekers in the UK have been in limbo. They fled a devastating civil war, only to find themselves trapped in a new kind of uncertainty after the fall of the Assad regime. Now, a new government decision has ended this pause, but any relief is overshadowed by a new reality. While claims can now be processed, returns to Syria could also begin, to a country now run by the very group that led the rebel offensive. In this video, we discussed why the UK paused Syrian asylum claims, who is still at risk under Syria's new regime, what the pause meant for Syrians, and what to do next. Watch till the end to understand the full details. Also, check the comment section for links to more details. Why the UK paused Syrian asylum claims. So, what exactly has changed? The UK Home Office has announced it will resume processing asylum and permanent settlement claims for all Syrian nationals. This decision ends a 7-month suspension that began in December 2024, immediately following the overthrow of President Bashar al-Assad by a rebel offensive led by the Islamist militant group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS. According to Asylum Minister Dame Angela Eagle, the pause was a necessary step while there was no stable, objective information available to make robust assessments of risk on return to Syria. During this time, over 7,000 applications were frozen. This affected not only recent arrivals living in government-funded accommodation, but also Syrians who had already been granted refugee status for 5 years and were waiting to apply for permanent settlement, making it difficult for them to secure jobs or stable housing. Who is still at risk under Syria's new regime? The decision to restart processing is based on new Home Office guidance that redefines who is considered at risk in a Syria now led by HTS leader Ahmad al-Sharaa. The guidance is clear. A breakdown in law and order or uncertain security situations do not in themselves give rise to a well-founded fear of persecution. The responsibility is now on the individual to prove they face a specific threat. Under these new rules, those who opposed the former Assad regime are considered unlikely to be at risk upon return to Syria solely on that basis. Similarly, many religious and ethnic minorities, including Christians, Druze, and Shia Muslims, are now deemed unlikely to face a real risk of persecution or serious harm from the state. However, the government does acknowledge specific dangers. The guidance notes that Kurds in areas controlled by the Turkish-backed Syrian National Army are likely to face a real risk of persecution or serious harm. It also states that members of the Alawite minority, the sect associated with the former Assad regime, are likely to face a real risk of persecution or serious harm, noting that in March, Alawites were subjected to attacks that killed an estimated 800 people, with HTS-affiliated groups reportedly involved. What the pause meant for Syrians. Behind these policy documents are real people whose futures hang in the balance. Enver Solomon, chief executive of the Refugee Council, welcomed the end of the suspension, but with a serious warning. He said, "We know the pause in decision-making had left Syrian people trapped in further limbo, unable to work, move on with their lives, and fearing for their future." However, the situation in Syria continues to be unstable, and we urge the government to ensure that every asylum application is assessed on a case-by-case basis, ensuring the safety and protection of Syrians who would face extreme risk if they are returned. What to do next? The implications of this policy shift are already taking shape. More than 20 Syrian asylum seekers have already returned voluntarily this year. Now, the prospect of enforced returns is on the horizon. Ministers hope the first removals to Syria could take place before the end of the year, with a senior Home Office source stating they wouldn't say it's a million miles away. This move is also influenced by international pressure. With countries like Austria already deporting Syrians, there are concerns in the Home Office that the UK could be seen as a pull factor if it doesn't adopt a similar policy. The shift comes after Foreign Secretary David Lammy became the first UK minister in 14 years to visit Syria, where he met with interim President al-Shara, signaling a new, complex diplomatic reality. The situation is developing rapidly. To stay informed with in-depth analysis on UK immigration, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Conclusion: the UK government has ended a period of profound uncertainty for thousands of Syrians, allowing their claims to finally be heard. But in doing so, it has opened the door to a different future, one that could lead back to a homeland that many consider unsafe. The new guidance creates a complex landscape, placing a heavy burden on individuals to prove their specific risk in a country still grappling with the aftermath of war, and now under a new administration. As legal experts prepare to challenge the new framework, the fundamental question remains. In this new era of diplomatic re-engagement with Syria, will UK policy prioritize a safe haven for those who fled, or will it prioritize returns to a nation where peace is still a fragile concept? The answer will define thousands of futures. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.